I think we can all agree that the market has changed even in Boca Raton. Now the question is, where is the bottom? Are we headed towards a major real estate correction? Let's take a look at the data. Stay tuned to find out in our Boca Raton Q3 market update. Let's look at the average sale price data from Q3 of 2021 and compare it to Q3 of 2022. You can see we've experienced an 18% increase in the average sale price year over year. So according to this statistic, homes are still worth 18% more than they were the same time last year. That doesn't sound too bad, does it? This is where a trend line can be helpful. If we compare the average sale price from September to August, it appears that the values have dropped 4% in the last month. It's important to remember that sold data is a lagging indicator, so this trend may be more serious than the numbers reveal. A pending contract can be considered a leading indicator. The graph shows that the average pending listing price for August and September hasn't been this low in over a year. This likely indicates that next month's sold data will be very similar or lower. When a listing changes to pending status on the MLS, the contract price isn't revealed publicly until it's formally closed. The sale to original list price ratio shows that a lot more homes are selling for less than the asking price today. In March, April, and May of this year, most properties were selling for the asking price or higher. Now properties are selling for about 6% less than the original list price on average. This is another indication that there is downward pressure on prices. A good way to understand if our market is slowing or accelerating is to look at the average days on market data. This is the number of days a home is actively listed on the market. If similar homes in your neighborhood are taking longer to sell, this could signal lower demand. The average home in Boca Raton will be under contract in 32 days. This is still less than 12 months ago, and when we look at the graph, we can see that the days on market have remained relatively stable despite the changing market conditions. The number of listing graph helps us understand the current and anticipated inventory in the Boca Raton real estate market. This data also points to a changing real estate market. In September of 2022, our real estate market closed 334 homes. As the graph indicates, this is less than usual. In fact, we haven't seen home sales this low since March of 2020 when COVID shutdowns began. As you can see from the graph, we are starting to see an increase in inventory over the past 4 months, while we are continuing to see decreases in pended and sold listings. This is absolutely an indication that our market is changing. As of October 1st, we are seeing a 25% increase in inventory compared to the same time last year. 24% less homes went under contract in September of 2022 when compared to September of 2021. The reduction in pending sales numbers appears to be a continued trend over the past 3 months. These figures will be our sold data in the next few months. Under contract data is considered a leading indicator of housing activity because a home goes under contract 2 months before it's sold. Pending home sales lead existing home sales by about a month or two. 34% less homes were sold in September of 2022 compared to September of 2021. Not only has the number of homes sold per month declined year over year, but there has also been a steady decline over the last 3 months. Existing home sales data is considered a lagging indicator. The majority of transactions usually involve a mortgage, which may take 30 to 60 days to close. So, existing home sales data most likely includes contracts which were signed about a month or two before they were reported as sold. The absorption rate shows how long the current inventory of properties would last at the current rate of sales. If no new properties were added to the market and sales continued at a steady pace, the absorption rate indicates the number of months required to sell all the properties on the market. The absorption rate trend shows that the Boca Raton real estate market is changing. The absorption rate is now 2.97 months, which is higher than it was a year ago and has been steadily increasing. The absorption rate for the price point of $500,000 to $750,000 is up to 3.39 months compared to 1.74 months from the same time last year. This is still indicative of a seller's market. This metric indicates that it will take 3.39 months to sell the 261 homes available on the market if the demand trend continues. It's worth noting that the absorption rate has increased in every price point compared to the same time last year. In conclusion, the data we reviewed suggests that the market is changing. The pricing data we discussed shows that properties have retained some of the gains over the past year, but prices are now coming down. It's apparent that buyers are starting to have more options than they've had in the past year, but inventory is still very low relative to pre-COVID times. For example, in September of 2019, there were about 2,365 active listings on the market. This is about 1.5 times the amount of inventory we have today. Additionally, the absorption rate of about 3 months and the average days on market of about 32 days suggests that the market is still healthy and has good demand. I'm Larry Mastropieri, broker, owner of Florida Homes Boca Raton Realty. I live here, I work here, and I love it here. If you have any questions about the real estate market, feel free to reach out. Thanks.